Hello, everybody. We are very excited for you to join us today. My name is Justin. I am a researcher for CMD, and I'm very excited about this session because we get to have three of our most lovely staff members joining us for today. Their names are Robin, Charlene, and Gustavo. And they're going to talk about a little something called Information is Power, the CMD Publication Library. Now, we'll get to this project in a second, but first, can you guys take a moment to introduce yourselves?
My name is Charlene York, and I've been with CMD since 2008. And I have worked on various projects. And the one project that I've been working on practically every day is doing this publication library.
Hi, I'm Robin Swallow. And along with Char, I manage the publication library. I started volunteering with CMD in 2013 when my two grandsons were diagnosed with SEPN1. Part of my duties, in addition to the publication library, is that I curate the genetic test reports that we receive, and I monitor the clinicaltrials.gov website.
Hello, I am Gustavo Dziewczapolski. I'm the scientific director for CMD, and my role is to lead the research grant program and monitor the research and the clinical developments that are going on in the field to help translate the research discoveries in the lab and move to real therapies for patients.
So tell us a little bit about the publication library. When and how did you guys start this project?
We sort of started it back in 2008. I, in another life or role, I was a reference librarian. So I knew how to track down research articles. And back in 2008, we just started to monitor what was being out there in the area of research because we were new, the organization. And then we formally did this and started putting this on our website, the research out there, in 2013, 2014.
And for our audience members who are unfamiliar with our publication library, could you take a moment to describe what it is exactly and what you guys hope to accomplish with it?
Well, the publication library is on the CMD homepage. So if you go to curecmd.org, there is both a congenital muscular dystrophy library and a congenital myopathy library. But let's talk about the CMD library first. In addition to the subtypes that we cover, there are also general categories such as general information, cardiac, pulmonary, and pain. Let's take a look at the general information category. You will see that the articles are listed in chronological order, with the most current articles listed near the top. Science is always evolving, and it is very important for us to give you the best, most current information available. Also at the top are fact sheets or guides, documents that don't change with time, but are very important for you to be able to access. The articles are full access if there is no copyright issue. If, however, there is a copyright issue, then we can only post the abstract. Let's take a look then at what might be an example of a full text article. And I'm looking at the general information screen at an article entitled Diagnostic Approach to the Congenital Muscular Dystrophies. The entire article is listed because it is free access. The congenital myopathy library is arranged exactly the same way as the congenital muscular dystrophy library. And this publication library is updated frequently as the NCBI posts articles that we can use that cover the congenital muscular dystrophies and the congenital myopathies.
There sure look like there are quite a number of articles on that site. And you guys must have spent so much time putting that together. Can you share a little bit about where you get all of these articles from? I hear a lot about this source called the NCBI. Can you tell us about what that is?
Yes, the NCBI stands for the National Center for Biotechnology Information. It is part of the National Library of Medicine, which is part of the National Institutes of Health. So NCBI has several databases in there, and the one that we use the most is called PubMed, Publications in Medicine. And what we have done, Robin and I, we have taken certain search terms or subject headings, and we've built up a search strategy to search in that database, PubMed. And we have set it up that we get daily updates on those specific subject headings. And within those daily updates will be citations to those articles of the latest research. And it's our job to track down those full text articles that Robin had mentioned. And again, if we don't have the full text, at least we will post the abstract.
And I do want to note a lot of the articles that Charlene and Robin share on our website are written by scientists and intended to be read for scientists, but we do recognize that a lot of us in the CMD community aren't always well pronounced in scientific language. And so currently what we're working on right now is handpicking a few papers that we believe to be pivotal and aligned with CureCMD's priority. And what we like to do with those papers is we would like to translate them into everyday language so that you, as the CMD community, can really understand what is the most up-to-date research really that's happening within your subtype. So please stay tuned on that. Now, I do want to ask you guys, once you have found articles that are relevant for the CMD community, obviously, you know, there is credit that's due to the scientists and the researchers and clinicians who write these articles. So I do want to ask, is there a follow-up process with the researchers and authors of these articles?
Yes, there is. We send thank you emails. Since 2013, when we established the formal publication library, we have sent over 700 emails to clinicians, to researchers who work in our space. We do this for a couple of reasons. One, we want to introduce CureCMD to the new scientists that are working in the congenital muscular dystrophy and myopathy space. And we also want to acknowledge and to thank the veteran researchers who continue to work to improve the quality of life for those people that are affected by a CMD. The thank you emails also create a mailing list so that we can reach out to clinicians and researchers and inform them of upcoming events such as conferences or grant callouts.
And how many articles have been published thanks to CureCMD's resources?
Yes, there have been over 40 articles published using the CureCMD resources. And what I mean by resources, it would be either the grants that we have given to scientists for their research, and then also some of those research articles have used our other resource, which is the CMDIR, our registry. So we have made an impact there since 2008 with over 40 articles. Those 42 articles have been cited over 300 times by other scientists in their research. So it's almost like a building block of research that's being done out there. So again, we have made an impact in the research world.
What's the bigger picture goal of scanning the NCBI for scientific articles?
It is fundamental to stay current with scientific publications to keep abreast of the latest research advances and how the field is moving forward on different fronts, from basic science all the way to clinical trials. So this helps us not only shape CureCMD's funding priorities, but also find out about new researchers in the neuromuscular space, introduce them to CureCMD, invite them to apply for research grants and participate in conferences. So that's the bigger picture goal of this tool.
Great. Well, that pretty much sums up our session for today. We are here with Robin, Charlene, and Gustavo. Before we say goodbye, do you guys have a take-home message that you would like the audience members to know?
Education is key to advocacy. Whether you are affected by a CMD or you are a family member of one who is affected by a CMD, it's important to keep abreast of the latest research and treatments that may affect your subtype.
It's so important for a caregiver or the affected person to have access to that information so that they can share within their community, meaning caregivers, family members, or even the doctors that are outside of neurology, to provide the information that is out there. I have been into situations in which, they'll say to a doctor will say to me, well, I've never heard of this. So I can at least refer him or her to our website and say, here's the latest research out there that is happening in this particular rare disease. So again, knowledge is so powerful.
As my friends mentioned, information is power, and it's especially important to have a list of priorities on how to advance the CMDs to the next level, from the research labs to create real therapies for patients. So the tool they are building is important in different levels, important for you, families, to refer clinicians to the latest information. And it's also extremely important for my role and for the role of QCMD to help move the research from the labs to the potential therapies.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having all three of you here. And we hope for our audience members, this has been informative for you. And we hope that you enjoy the rest of your virtual SciFam sessions.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.